Before I go any further with this video, I should acknowledge that this video is very much aimed towards US buyers for reasons that will become apparent. But if you're a Model 3 customer and you're overseas, it may also be worth watching this video too, especially as electric car incentives in some other markets are also disappearing as more electric cars hit the road. Okay. You've followed Tesla since day one, or at least got excited about several years ago, and back in 2016 waited patiently in line or at your computer to put down a $1,000 deposit or equivalent when Tesla opened its pre-order process for Model 3 so that you could finally get a Tesla you could afford. At $35,000 before incentives, the standard range Model 3 was a car you knew you wanted and you were prepared to wait for, even though Tesla said it would take some time after production began on Model 3 for the standard range model to enter production. Fast forward 2 years and you're getting antsy. You've seen Tesla begin production of the high-end Model 3 long range and then add the dual-motor model to the Model 3 lineup, followed shortly after by the Model 3 dual-motor performance. All the time, while Tesla's Model 3 production ramps up, you're left wondering when you're going to get that affordable car that you desperately want. You don't need a longer range model, you aren't interested in premium upgrades, and you just want a car that you can use Tesla's supercharger network with and get you from point A to point B, all while supporting a company that's been pivotal to the race to bring plug-in cars to market. Then you hear that Tesla's reached its 200,000th car limit in the US, and as such, federal tax incentives for new Teslas are dropping at the start of next year to $3,750 per car, followed by a drop to $1,875 in the second half of next year. And you wonder, when are you going to get that Model 3, and will you get any federal tax incentives? Then Tesla announces a brand new Model 3 called the Model 3 mid-range. It's got more range per charge than that lower price Model 3 you're waiting for, but it costs $45,000 before incentives. It's rear-wheel drive only and is pretty basic, but it could get you further per charge. It's clear you won't get the Model 3 standard range before federal tax credits are severely reduced, but if you're quick, you may just get lucky and sneak your car in before the end of the year, securing either full federal tax credit or, at worst, if you don't make it, half federal tax credit. What do? Do you wait for the standard range Model 3 or do you go with a mid-range Model 3 instead? It's a question I've been asked quite a lot in the last few days, and so I figured it made sense to make a short video on the subject. Ultimately, everyone is in a different situation. Some people genuinely can't afford any more than the base entry Model 3 and so will have to wait for that car, especially if $35,000 really is your limit. Others will be willing to dig deep to get a more expensive model if that means they'll get some federal tax credits back. If you're buying a Tesla or any other EV, you may have to pay the total money up front for the car, then claim back that federal tax credit when you file your taxes. Given most people don't start their tax filing processes in the US until mid-February, the chances are that you're not going to see that incentive head back to you for another 5 months. That's a long time to wait if you're already stretching yourself thin to afford this more expensive model. And you can't lease a Model 3 yet, the only way that you could actually get that incentive kick back at the start of the process. I should point out here that Tesla is being a little naughty when it comes to pricing Model 3 on its website. At the moment, prices are being quoted, including the outgoing $7,500 federal tax credit, as well as a calculated gas savings, which assumes that you're coming from a petrol car to buy your Model 3. This is despite Tesla announcing a few weeks ago that cars ordered after the middle of October may not be delivered in time to ensure full federal tax credits are available. And then not everyone coming to a Model 3 owns an internal combustion engine car before that. Yes, Tesla does have some small print explaining this, and yes, other automakers do the same thing, at least when it comes to the incentive bit. But if you're looking at that price for Model 3 mid-range and see the price tag of $33,200, then it's easy to see that as a starting price, not a post-incentive, post-savings effective price. In short, if you think you can afford the $37,500 post-incentive price for a non-optioned Model 3 mid-range, and you're confident if you can get it by the end of the year, Tesla's currently quoting 6 to 10 weeks for deliveries, then go for it. As long as you understand the risk that when it comes to incentives, you're going to be lucky if you get a mid-range Model 3 for only $2,500 more than the headline pre-incentive price for the Model 3 standard range. If you think you're going to have to wait another full year to get a Model 3 standard range, that sounds like a good deal, because right now Tesla is quoting 3 to 6 months for US standard range customers. If that quote is correct, even those on the longer end of the wait list should still get at least $3,750 off their Model 3 after incentives. That would effectively lower the effective price of a Model 3 standard range to $31,250. But if the estimate is off and it's actually longer than that, then the effective price for a standard Model 3 will increase to $33,125. Tesla has already stated several times that it will only produce Model 3 standard range when it's reached a level of production where it can make a profit. It's likely we'll find out next month at the quarterly earnings call how close Tesla believes that to be. Releasing Model 3 mid-range appears to be a way to reduce the overall price on the way to standard range profitability, but it also suggests Tesla's not there yet. TLDR, if you can afford the extra money and don't mind the gamble with incentives, a Model 3 mid-range might be a smart choice for you. But if you want a standard Model 3, be prepared for a bit of a longer wait and perhaps no or very minimal incentives when you're offered a chance to order. That's it. Don't forget to give us your thumbs up or your thumbs down, leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Don't forget too that you can still, just for a few more days, buy our Halloween special t-shirt by following the link below. As always, I'd like to thank our Patreon supporters, and you can join them yourself at patreon.com/transportevolved. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.